lot of talk of doom and gloom with all the injuries around here.
This is a brutal way to start the season. Absolutely brutal.
There is no team in the league that is dealing with more injury adversity than Los Angeles right now.
You look at the questions, the stories that are being written. Has it gotten a little sideways?
This is that time where some guys get lulled to sleep.
LA Chargers, panic? Don't panic.
You gotta be so sharp the entire way, and it's a constant fight mentally, and it really impresses upon your mental stamina. You gotta have it going against the best of the best every single week.
The loss is one thing, but when you talk about Mike Williams left on a card, J.C. Jackson left on a card, Chris Rumpf.
German, going into the season, there were a lot of expectations on this team, especially with what you guys added on defense. How do you make sure that those goals remain in front of people and that you don't get too down?
I feel like no one's just down in the season. No one is pointing any fingers. We still believe in everything. Everything we want still in front of us.
A lot of teams go through those injury stretches and they can't overcome it.
What do you tell your team with you guys coming off this loss and going into a bye week?
Yeah, Lindsay, I think what I told them, exactly what I told them, is that we're 4-3. And the reality is through 7 games, we've had to fight really hard to be 4-3. And we've endured a lot, and our season is in front of us, which is the truth.
They have been ruined by injury.
Do they look like a playoff team to you? I hate to bring that up, but I know we're not that far through the season here, but have your expectations changed with all these unfortunate injuries?
When you get into a season, you can't cower in fear. If stuff isn't going your way, it's not like, okay, we don't have this and it's over. So the only thing you can do is just keep trying to find solutions.
Moving forward, how do they contend in the division, that's loaded, in a conference that's loaded? How do they get healthy and then start to play their best football when it matters the most?
This is the ultimate test of that depth. So I don't think anyone's sitting there and being pessimistic about the injuries or saying woe is us. You can't do that as a coaching staff.
What we need to do is take advantage of the bye and get rested, and then come back as a team and really focus on playing the way we're capable of playing.
I think on one side you have missed expectations through 7 games. But on the other side of it, if you look at it in a different context and with a different perspective, you have a team that has battled through quite a bit of adversity.
Every storyline going into this season is different, and that's why the NFL is a week-to-week league. I think if there's been one consistent storyline in this season so far, is that it's been a roller coaster.
How perfect is this, though, to start the season? Chargers, Raiders, let's go.
I was really proud of how we started the season against Vegas. I thought we came out and really played with a lot of purpose, a lot of intensity. I thought we were really competing at a high level. Same thing against Kansas City. That was a tight game, a tough game.
And Herbert is slow to get up, and he is really slow to get up.
After that Jacksonville game was a tough one. We lost a lot of guys in that game, didn't have our best stuff. We're really kind of at a crossroads. Because a lot happened in that game.
Time, middle of the field, that's Agnew, and he's got a ton of room.
Is that Bosa that's down?
Joey Bosa's done for at least a month, if not more.
Rolling right, still rolling right. He's just going to throw it at the feet of Trey McKitty. 2nd and goal.
Rashawn.
Yeah, it looks like Rashawn Slater's down. I want to see that.
He's looking at his arm, DJ.
The 4 most important positions in football are left tackle, quarterback, defensive end, corner. All 4 of theirs are hurt.
Do you feel like the Chargers are cooked? Are they done?
Okay, I want to make sure everybody knows, going into this film session, is that we lost this team yesterday, as coaches and players. I want to make sure everybody knows going into this thing, the most important thing is that we get better from it. The most important thing is that we get better from it. We take the practice field on Wednesday, right, ready to be a different group, okay? And the thing I want to start out with, out of the get-go, before we even watch the film, is just the mindset of this group. when it gets really hard in a game like that, where it's tough, where it's really tough, hey, you got to dig in and find it together to go finish it. And just keep doing it. That's what the game requires, right? But it's that feeling that no matter what happens, that we're okay because we got each other. And we know exactly what to do and how to do it. Okay? And what that does is it starts in practice. We know that there's always technique stuff in football that you can correct, that you need to fix. There's always something technically that you could do better, even on your best plays. Okay? But the assignment and the effort thing, it's just non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable. And that's what we're going to make sure that we do a really good job of moving forward.
All right, guys. Hey, Coach said it. Right, yesterday was one of those days in the NFL. It sucked. All right, sucked it. We sucked it. All right. He talked about accountability. All right, so I'll start. Okay.
What I want to know is, as a coach, what can we do, or what can we provide for y'all? Like, what do you need to watch at home to help you get an edge for the game? So I'm gonna start with you, DJ. Give me one thing that you want us to start making for you so you can have it when you get to the house on Monday night.
To be honest, I feel like we need to.
Now, this ain't no panic mode.
No.
This is to make sure y'all got what y'all need. We got plenty of manpower to do it.
Yeah, I think that what I've learned is that you have to be on all the time to communicate. And communicating isn't just transmitting information, talking. You know, it's a listening and being present with people. And I think the tougher it gets, the more connected you have to be with your people. And that's been how our season's been. And I think that's something I've learned, is when it gets tougher, you actually have to make it simpler and then keep the main thing. Make it about your relationships, make it about your standard of performance. And that's what's ultimately gonna get you back, bounce you back, and then get you headed, you know, where you ultimately wanna go.
Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over what I think are accountability plays. All right, accountability plays, okay? And then we'll show some good plays, but we're gonna start with accountability.
Yeah, I think accountability is not blame. I think that nowadays, what you see is this explosive nature to everything, where someone wants to know who was responsible, like who's to blame for this happening, instead of just taking ownership. Like, to me, accountability is ownership, and being accepting that we all fall short, but that knowing that the most important thing is that you're trying to learn from it and improve.
So when we're here together, right, we're gonna go through these play calls like we were at the stadium, okay? Hey, if you're in on the play, I want the coverage communication, okay? I want the run front, okay? I want all of it, okay? And I want to hear it, okay? You guys with me? I want to hear it, okay? So that we can go through this and we can feel a lot better. The goal of this meeting is to feel better after, not to feel worse.
It's on the coaching staff to figure it out. Like, when you do have injuries, you have to make adjustments. That's the thing. They've made adjustments. There's a reason they're 4-3 and not 2-5 or 1-6, because that certainly was possible given all of their injuries. A lot of it is some of the adjustments that they have made.
Up front, it's a different look for the Chargers. Unfortunately, Rashawn Slater with that biceps injury out for the season. That means the rookie, Jamari Salyer, will get the start at left tackle.
Herbert looks one way, throws the other into the end zone. Touchdown to the tight end, Gerald Everett.
That's a start you're looking for.
And so you see them making these adjustments on the fly. They're willing to make the hard decisions in order to adjust to these injuries and create the environment where they can play consistent competitive football.
Chargers versus Browns. Well, when these two teams tangle, it is an offensive explosion.
Yesterday, our offense went into the game without Keenan Allen, Sean Slater.
Kelly bounces it outside. Josh Kelly. This is Eckler. Eckler breaking free. Go, Eckler, go.
Trey Pipkins go out with an injury, right? So we got Mike Williams, who everyone knows is getting the ball.
Coming down with it is Mike Williams. Oh, Mike Williams does it again.
He still had 10 catches yesterday. He still had 10 catches. We had a bunch of backups in on the O-line.
Spins away to the 10, to the 5. Chance on. Touchdown, Chargers.
And they went for 465 They had 235 rushing. They had no turnovers, no sacks.
The Chargers are going to get out of here with a win.
The only guy that we're missing is Joey Bosa. We gave up over 400 yards of offense. Over 200 yards on the ground. So, how do we give up 400 plus yards? Either we're not good enough, or we're not playing the way that we need to play from a technique and assignment standpoint.
I think being the head coach, you just know that it's ongoing. There's no time where you feel like you got it. You got to be going to improve and to find out the best way for your team. And it's not like, hey, we found the formula and then like we're just going to ride that to the rest of the year. That's just not it. It's like that. It's every day you got to have the formula. And that's something I'm learning about being a head coach.
We brought in a lot of guys this year. There's like 7 new guys or 8, depending on how you look at it, that are starters for us. Everybody that we brought in has come from a winning culture or a championship caliber defense. Okay? You guys all have these experiences. But it needs to be done our way. And you know how we are around here. We talked to you guys a bunch about the plan, about tools, and all that good stuff. D-line, secondary, do we do that? Linebackers, do we do that here? Do we just say, hey, we jam this down your throat forever and always? Do we do that around here? No, we don't do that around here. So when we decide on the game plan, we go out and execute it. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here every Sunday, coin flip. Coin flip. Vegas played good. Kansas City played good. Jacksonville played. Houston played mostly good. Cleveland. You just be riding away the rest of the season.
Blitz. Wilson is sacked. Tranquil gets his second. That's good. Scott puts it down. That's good. The kick is good. And the Chargers win it in overtime.
They're finding ways to win.
These kind of wins develop grit, develop your personality, develop your toughness that you're going to need to rely on, in your memory bank come playoff time.
Yeah, Dennis, I really feel like we're starting to play more team defense. I think guys are starting to play together. We had some injuries. You see Bosa go down. So we're trying to find our way. Guys are trying to find their roles. And I think you're just seeing us improve week to week.
Your first 3 years in the league, you've had a lot of OT games that have been painful and fall short. How does it feel to get this one?
Yeah, it's huge. Like you mentioned, 2 years ago, maybe that's a different story. And for us to go out and close and finish and to get that turnover on special teams like that is huge for us. And just to stay in the fight, come back from 10-0 early on, it says a lot about our team.
Seahawks in town to take on the 4-2 Chargers, looking for their 4th consecutive win, headed into the bye.
But the narrative always changes. And I think that's also one of the best things about the NFL is that you can be on top of the world one week and then the next week you're just,
Herbert.
It's the lowest of the lows. You got to kind of ride the waves and ride the adversity. And I think that's one thing that Brandon and Justin and kind of the veterans on this team have been trying to impart so far.
Like the way the NFL works, you hit the ground running on July 26th, and it's like every day. But your first full real week off comes, in this case, 3 months later. That's 3 months of nonstop grinding, nonstop mentally and physically. And so you need that break.
What did you feel like you accomplished during the bye week?
Just a lot of assessment in all phases of the program. I think offense, defense, kicking game, the way you practice, the way you meet, the way you travel. Our guys are at a point where they have a lot of confidence in each other's ability to face the tough part of the NFL. Hey, face a tough loss, face some injuries, and being able to come on the other side of it. And so I think that that's really healthy. Just speaking from comparison to last season, we didn't experience nearly as much, at this juncture. And then I think after the bye, we experienced a ton of it. I think already this season we've experienced a lot that's going to help us down the stretch.
And, you know, I think our guys now have that sense of who we are. And I think when you get a chance to reset, you also know when you come back what needs to be done, and more importantly, how it needs to be done. And that's where our focus is.
But this is what we set out to be, all right? We ain't far, but overall, we got a lot of things to do and find out. We keep saying, are we them team with the flashes, or who we setting out to be? Because that ain't hard football. That's just us working together. And so we got to keep searching for that, man. Let's figure out what this thing gonna be about. And if that's us simplifying things so we all can play fast and free, let's do it.
They've had to face all of that adversity head on from the jump, pretty much from the jump. And so in terms of where they're going, to build that resiliency early in the season and to get a really good idea of what your team is gonna look like when it's faced with adversity, that's huge.
You can lose sight of some things, you can lose perspective, and you lose sight of the fact that, hey, if we didn't have each other, if we didn't have a good culture, if we didn't have our way, then, man, this thing could be different. And so you fall back on that confidence that you have in one another and then keep making the improvements as the season goes.
When you go out to practice, all right, this is perspective. This is like the zoom out, right? This is like what it takes to like go through an NFL practice, okay? And then this is after practice, okay? This is after practice. This is after practice, okay? This is after practice, okay? And so the point is that like the blueprint for me for the rest of the season is not about Atlanta, San Francisco, the Chiefs. It's not about Vegas, Arizona. It's not about Tennessee, the Colts. It's not about the Rams. The blueprint is what's in this tent. That's what we have to take care of, okay? And everyone's accountable. And what I would ask you is, who are the killers on this team? Who are the killers on this team? Who are the killers in our camp? Who are the killers?
One of my favorite novels is a book called A Soldier of the Great War. There's a saying in the book, it starts in Latin, Mundi ex igne factus est, which means the world is made of fire.
There is a sense of urgency out here, even in pregame warm-ups. You've got San Francisco and Kansas City around the corner, so today in Atlanta certainly feels like a must-win.
It's a reminder that suffering and struggle are the ways of truth to understanding. We learn the best through adverse situations, all right? The world is made of fire. And that's the reason why everyone loves the fight game and everyone loves football, because it is a struggle.
Let's go, baby. Go get him. Let's go, Anchor. Let's go get him, baby. Let's go. That line of scrimmage.
Deep down, all right, we all think we want comfort. We all think we want to win the lottery. The point being is that we are all warlike deep down. We need the struggle. It's not always easy, but it's what makes life fulfilling.
It's simple. Out hit, out hustle, and play fast and physical. It's simple. It's real. It's simple. Do it. Job one play at a time, and I promise you, we're gonna win.
And that's what we're gonna miss when we get shown out of this league, all right? We'll miss being in the locker room together, going to war together, all right? So enjoy it.
Falcons will receive the opening kickoff. Cameron Dicker gets things started. We are underway in Atlanta.
When it's the toughest, when it's the very most, you know, the challenges are adding up.
Mariota to Patterson, into the end zone, touchdown Falcons. 4 minutes, 20 seconds, and the Falcons are up 7-0.
You can kind of get this feeling if you let yourself go there, they're like, man, this isn't happening.
The Falcons are now up 10-0. Well, another hole for the Chargers to dig out of. 52 seconds left in the first.
At that moment, you think that you're gonna break. If you can just hang in there, then you get past it, and then it gets going.
Get off the field. Let's get off the field.
Trips up top for Mariota. They bring the blitz. Everybody's coming. Mariota hit and dropped. Sacked by Drew Tranquill. It's a loss of 8 and could not come at a more important time with the Chargers trailing 10-0.
Hey. Pass. Run, unsuccessful run, pass. Yep, that's all I'm just doing. Screen.
That's what stamina is. It's being able to hang in there and then make it happen.
Shotgun, they rush just 4. Herbert climbs the pocket, looks downfield, middle of the field, there's Josh Palmer. 22 yards, and DJ, that's what we're looking for.
There we go, there we go.
You have to remind people of that. It's going to happen, instead of looking at it the other way.
High formation, Eckler behind Horvath. Takes the handoff, Eckler to the end zone, bounces, stays on his feet, second effort is good. Touchdown Chargers.
There we go, let's go.
10-7 contest, 15 plays, 83 yards, 8 minutes, 35 seconds, so needed.
And I think that you have to have that trust and that faith and that confidence in yourself, in your teammates, your coaches, everyone around you.
Here we go, D. Let's go. Let's go, baby. 3 and out. 3 and out. We're back in it.
And they bring 5. Mariota hit and dropped. Derwin James, like a missile.
This is a defense that was struggling, and those are the 2 guys that have flipped the switch and completely changed the momentum of this ball game.
Back-to-back 3 and outs. Second and goal to the 10th play of the drive. Herbert rolling to his right, looking for Eckler. Caught, touchdown, Chargers! Austin Eckler, 1 on the ground, 1 through the air. And the Chargers have taken the lead, 13 unanswered.
I think you've seen a lot of resiliency from the team. What makes a good team and a good organization is how you respond. Can you weather those injuries and keep the train on tracks?
Mariota throws out left sideline, London. And that ball is ripped out of his hands. Chargers have it. Khalil Mack still on his feet. All the way out to midfield, the 49 DJ. He walked up to Drake London and just said, I'll be taking that, thank you. You want to talk about a savvy vet on a rookie play. Boy, Khalil Mack with a huge turnover.
Why knock it on the ground? We just take it from him.
Just straight ripped it out of his hands and started running. Khalil Mack.
The killers are the ones that not only have the mindset, but then that also have the performance. They have the mindset, but then they perform at a high level, whatever their role is. You need them more than ever when things don't go well, when it's tough.
And the game tied at 17, 34 seconds on the clock.
Dicker's got plenty of leg. You get this thing to the 34, 35, it's one easy completion.
Herbert, they rush 4. Has time. Has a man, Josh Palmer, caught it left sideline all the way to the 20.
I think Herbert's back. I think there was a lot of talk about over the last few weeks. The injury hasn't looked quite the same. That was a Justin Herbert throw.
And you have to have that on teams. You have to have people that set the example, that make other people better. And I know that we have several of those guys on this football team.
Looks like this one is going to be about 37. From the center of the field, kicking right to left from where we sit at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Chargers win in a walk-off if it goes through. Snap good, hold good, kick is up. Yes. It is good. Yeah. Cameron Dicker for the win. And the Bolts surround the rookie.
Dicker the kicker.
In a celebration as they are now 5-3 and will get out with a victory.
In this league, it is very important to stack up wins. But let's face it, in any season, there is going to be adversity no matter what. But for the most part, this team has been able to survive and do well in spite of the injuries.
Hey, that's what the NFL's about, man. That's what the NFL's about. 10-0 on the road, no flinch. Just together for 4 quarters. Took everybody in here, and it wasn't pretty, but I'll tell you what, this group has the fight that it takes in this league, man. You guys have the fight that it takes, man. There's no magic in competition. There's no magic, just fight, man.
The sports analogies, my cancer stuff, my whole life has been about hanging tough and having that stamina and knowing that you have what it takes. And if you know you have what it takes, then ultimately you'll make it happen.
If you want to see more content like this, check out the link right here.